Okay, so this lesson is on using equations to solve problems. So the first step is figuring out what it is you're trying to solve, what you're trying to come up with, assigning a variable. If you have more than two things that you don't know, you're going to have to write one of them in terms of the other variable, and then writing an equation, and then solving your equation, checking to make sure it works. Okay, so you're going to use the five-step plan. Okay, and we're not going to go through every single, we're not going to list every step, but we're going to follow every step. Okay, so let's start with our first example. So Lynn took a taxi cab from her office to the airport. She had to pay a flat fee of $2.05 plus 90 cents per mile. The total cost was $5.65. How many miles was the taxi trip? So we're looking to figure out how many miles the taxi trip was. So I'm going to assign the number of miles is going to be equal to m. So I've just assigned my variable. Okay, so the number of miles is equal to m. So now I'm going to, there's nothing else that I'm really looking for. So I'm pretty much just going to stick with m. And now I need to write an equation. So based on what she said, she had to pay a flat fee of $2.05. So $2.05 plus, it even says plus there, 90 cents per mile. So 90 cents per mile means 90m. So m is the number of miles. We would multiply that by 90 cents, add the flat fee, okay, so no matter how many miles she goes, she still has to pay that $2.05. And the total cost was $5.65. Okay. Don't be scared because there's decimals. All right, so the first thing I want to do then is I want to see if I can simplify this side. I have $2.05 plus 90 cents per mile. These two are not like terms, so I cannot add them together, which means that this side is simplified as much as it can be. This side is only one number, so it's simplified. So I can start by using inverse operations, and I want to undo addition and subtraction first. So I'm going to go ahead and circle my variable term, okay, which is a positive 0.90 times m. And I look to see what's outside of my little bubble, and I have $2.05, which is positive, which means I'm adding it. So in order to undo that, I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to subtract $2.05 from both sides. These cancel out, and I'm left with this. And when I subtract here, I get 0.63. Okay, now I circle my m and I say what's happening to m. Right now I'm multiplying it by 0.9 or 90 cents. So I'm going to divide both sides by 90 cents. So this cancels out and I'm left with m. Okay, so the m is going to be my number of miles. So I'm hoping that it's a nice integer. It might not be. It might be a decimal. It should be positive though. So if I come up with something negative, then I know I've done something wrong. But I end up with a lovely number. I end up with 4. Okay, which makes sense. Her taxi ride wasn't very expensive. Now, obviously, this is an old problem because it would probably be closer to $50. But let's plug it in and make sure it works. So she had to pay her flat fee of $2.05 plus 90 cents per mile, and she went 4 miles. So this would be 2.05 plus, I multiply this and it gives me 3.60. And when I add these two together, I get 5.65. So it works. So the answer is 4 miles. There's my answer. All right, let's look at the next one. It says the perimeter of a trapezoid is 90 centimeters long. The parallel bases are 24 centimeters and 38 centimeters long. The lengths of the other two sides are consecutive odd integers. What are the lengths of the other two sides? So you're probably going, what? Draw a picture. So here's my trapezoid. There it is. The parallel bases are 24 centimeters and 38. So these are the parallel bases. And obviously this is the shorter one, so that's 24. And this one's 38. The lengths of the other two sides are consecutive odd integers. So I made this one a little bit longer over here. So if this one is n consecutive odd integers, this one is n plus 2. And they tell us that the perimeter is 90. So what are the lengths of the other two sides? So I know that if I add all these together, it's going to give me the perimeter. So there is my equation. So I'm going to have n plus, and I'm just going to go around, 24 plus n plus 2 plus 38 is equal to 90. There's my equation. I have to simplify this. So I have n plus n is 2n Then I have 24 plus 2 plus 38 gives me 64. Okay. Here's my variable term. Right now I'm adding 64, so I'm going to undo that by subtracting 64. So I have 2n equals, and when I subtract 64 from 90, I get 26. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 2, so n is equal to 13, okay, which sounds good, especially since it's supposed to be consecutive odd integers. If I didn't get an integer, if I got a decimal or a fraction, then I knew I did something wrong. If I got a negative, I definitely did something wrong. So if this side is 13, this side would have to be 15 because it's n plus 2. So let's add these up. 13 plus 24 plus 15 plus 38 should hopefully give me 90. So that's 3 and 4 is 7, and 5 is 12, and 8 is 20. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, it works. So what are the lengths of the two sides? They are 13 centimeters and 15 centimeters. Make sure that you've actually gone back and answered that question, okay? If I just put n is equal to 13, I haven't actually answered the question, okay? And then to try this, it's our good buddy Bob. And Bob already has 45 stamps in his collection. He gets 7 new stamps each month. How long will it take before he has 129 stamps in his collection? That should be fun. Seriously, it should be